Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our online class for our subject Mathematics of Investment. And yes, we are now on our final week of our discussion. So this is now our week 17 of our discussion. So this is our last topic for this semester, and we're going to discuss about stocks and bonds. Okay, so stocks and bonds. So before we go further, what are the things that we're going to learn about stocks and bonds? So we're going to define the types of stocks, determine the common terms in stocks and bonds, compute for the dividends on preferred and common stock, determine the current yield on a stock, find the stock's price earning ratio, compute for the value cost, proceeds and gain or loss of a stock transaction, define the terms in bonds. What else? Recognize the advantages and disadvantages in investing in bonds. And what else? Differentiate a bond rate from a yield rate. Compute the price of a bond using general premium and discount method. And of course, give examples of stocks and bonds problems in real life situation. Okay, so let's go. So stocks and bonds. So in this chapter, we will investigate stocks or equities, which represents an ownership share of a corporation and bonds or debts, okay, which represents a loan in the form of an interesting bearing note in which the bond buyer lends money to the bond issuer. Okay, so companies can raise money either by borrowing or selling shares of stocks to finance operations, plan expansion, and others. So if the company raises money by means of selling shares of ownership, okay, so these ownership shares are called stocks, all right? Ayan, so kung yung company that raises money by means of selling shares of ownership, tinatawag natin yan na stocks, alright? And the buyer of the stock is called the stockholders, wherein they receive stock certificates verifying the number of shares of stock they own. Okay? Ayan. So sometimes companies raise money by selling bonds instead of stocks. Okay? And a bond is a promise from the company to pay the face value to the bond owner at a future date along with the interest payment at a stated rate. Okay? So when the company issue bonds, they are treated as stock is, right? Ayan. And if a company reach bankruptcy, the bondholders have the first claim to the assets of the company. Okay? Ayan, before the stockholders. And as with stock, changes in bonds prices vary accordingly to supply and demand. So brokers are also charged commissions on bond trading, and these commissions also vary. Okay, and the par value or the face value of a bond is the original amount of money borrowed by a company. Most companies issue a par value of 100 or 1,000 pesos. Okay. Okay, so 1,000 pesos. All right. Now we have computing the dividends on preferred and common stock. So what are dividends? Dividends are distribution of a company's profits to its shareholders. Okay? So who are the shareholders? They are the person who owns shares of stocks in a corporation. So kung ikaw ay shareholders, so meron kang shares of stock sa isang corporation. So, kanino ka ba kasali? Anong corporation ka? Ganon. Okay, so, and there are two types of stocks. So, what are those? So we have the preferred stock and the common stock. So when we talk about the preferred stock, this is a class of corporate stock in which the investor has preferential rights over the common shareholders to dividends and a company's assets. Okay? And on the other hand, common stock is a class of corporate in which the investor has voting rights and shares directly in the success or failure of the business. Okay? Ayan. Common stocks. So you have the right to vote. Okay? Yan, may voting rights ka kung. Okay? And talking about par value, this is an arbitrary monetary figure specified in the corporate charter for each share of stock and printed on each stock certificate. Okay? The dividend for par value preferred stock is quoted as a percent of the par value. Okay? So alternatively, no par value stock is a stock that does not have par value and the dividends is quoted as a peso amount per share. Okay? Ayan. So, peso amount per share. Yung kanina, so it is quoted as percent of the par value. Okay? And the cumulative preferred stock is a type of preferred stock that receives a dividend each year. Okay, and so you receive the dividend each year. And the dividend okay, and the dividend in arrears is the amount of dividends that accumulate and are owed to cumulative preferred shareholders before for past years in which no dividends are paid. Okay, so dividend in arrears. So yung mga, yan yung mga delay and okay. And preferred stocks are also categorized as non-participating and the participating stock. Okay, for non-participating stock, this means that shareholders receive only fixed dividend. Okay, so and then the participating stock means that the shareholder may receive additional dividends if the company perform well. Okay, di ba? Ngayon, sino sa inyo yung mga yung mga member ng mga co-op diyan? Parang nadi-distribute na sila ngayon ng mga dividend, ng mga meal allowance. Yung sino yung mga hindi pa nakakakuha diyan. Ganon. Okay? And then, what else? Convertible preferred means the stock may be exchanged for a specified number of common shares in the future. Alright? Now, let us have an example for this on how to compute the dividends on preferred and common stock. Example, the AUS Enterprises has 1,500,000 shares of common stock outstanding. If a dividend of 30 million pesos was declared by the company directors last year, what are the dividends per share of common stock? Okay? So, nakadepende kasi sa performance ng company yung marireceive mo na dividend, di ba? So, because the company has no preferred stock, the common shareholders will receive the entire dividends. Okay? So, we have the given here. Total common dividend is the 30 million. Number of shares for common stock is 1,500,000. Okay? So, we will get the dividend per share for the common stock. So, that is equal to the total common dividend over the number of shares. Okay, so this is equal to, yan, so 30 million over 1,500,000. So this is equal to 20 pesos per share. Okay, so the dividend per share is 20 pesos. Okay, ayan. So the dividend per share of stock is 20 pesos. Another example, we have the Syrup Corporation. Okay, Syrup Corporation has 70,000 shares of 2,000 pesos par value. 5% cumulative preferred stock, and 250,000 shares of common stock. Although no dividend was declared last year, a 25 million pesos dividend was declared this year. Determine the amount of dividends due the preferred shareholders and the dividend per share of common stock. Okay, so for our solution, take note that preferred stock is cumulative, alright? So yung preferred stock natin ay cumulative and the company did not pay a dividend in the previous year. Diba? So sabi dito, dividend was declared last year. Okay, so the preferred shareholders are entitled to the dividend in arrears. Okay, and the dividend for the current period. So we have the given par value 2,000, number of shares or preferred stock 70,000, dividend rate is 5% or 0.05, and the number of shares for common stock is 250,000. Okay, so we're going to compute for the dividend per share for the preferred stock. So we have to get the product of the par value and the dividend rate. Okay, so this is equal to 2,000 times 0.05. Okay, so this is equal to 100 pesos dividend per share. Okay, and we have the total preferred dividend per year. So that is equal to the number of shares or the product of number of shares and the dividend per share. Okay, so let's just substitute the values of our number of shares, which is 70,000 times the dividend per share na nakuha natin, which is 100 pesos. Okay, so this is now equal to 7 million pesos total preferred dividend per year. Okay, so what about the total preferred? And we have the total preferred dividend for the arrears and current year. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have the 7 million for arrears plus the current year na 7 million. Okay, so this is equal to 14 million pesos total preferred dividend. And the total common dividend, that is equal to the difference between the total dividend and the total preferred dividend. So this is now equal to, so yung 25 million natin, okay, 25 million na na-declare na dividend this year, di ba? So 25 million minus the 14 million na total preferred dividend. Okay, so this is equal to 11 million pesos. Okay? So the amount of dividends due for preferred stock is 11 million pesos. Okay? And we have the dividend per share for common stock. So that is equal to the total common dividend over the number of shares. So this is equal to 11 million over 250,000. So this is equal to 44 pesos per share. Okay? So the dividend per share of common stock is 44 pesos. Okay, naiintindihan? Now we have the computing for the current yield. Okay, computing the current yield for a stock. So to measure how much you have earned on a stock, okay, so as compared with other investments is by computing the current yield, right? So the current yield is a way of determining the current value of a stock. So it shows on how much dividend you can get as a percentage of the current price of the stock per share. Okay? So if a stock pays no dividend, there is no current yield. So the current yield is computed using the formula. Current yield is equal to the annual dividend per share over the current price per share. Okay, let us have an example. If RFS Corporation paid a dividend of 142 pesos and 60 centavos per share last year, if yesterday's the last price was 2,300 pesos, what is the current yield on the stock? Okay, so ano daw yung current yield ng stock? For our solution, with the given annual dividend per share of 142 pesos and 60 centavos, and current price per share is 2,300 pesos, so we will compute for the current yield using this formula. Okay, so substitute lang natin yung value para makuha natin yung current yield. So this is 142.60 over 2,300. So this is equal to 0.062 or 6.2%. Okay? So the current yield rate per share is 6.2%. Alright? Ito naintindihan? Next, computing the price earnings ratio of a stock. So another thing that some people use to help them decide which stock to buy is the price earnings ratio. Okay, so this ratio is found using the formula. Price earnings ratio equals to the current price per share over the earnings per share. Okay, how? Well, let us have an example. Eliza would like to own stock in SSS and GSIS, but she does not know if either stock is a good buy. One she can do is to look at the price earnings ratio for each. Okay, so for letter A, SSS price share is 2,464 pesos. Annual net income per share is 88 pesos. For GSIS, letter B, price per share 1,900 pesos. Annual net income per share is 76 pesos. So we're going to use the formula, okay, for the price earnings ratio for SSS with the given current price per share and earnings per share. So this is our formula. Okay? So i-substitute lang natin yung value from our given. So this is 2,464 over 88. So this is equal to 28. So the price earnings ratio of SSS stock is 28 times per share. Okay? And for letter B, price earnings ratio for SSS with the given current price per share and earnings per share. So we'll get this price earning ratio with this formula. Okay? So substitute lang natin yung value. So this is 1,900 over 76. And this is equal to 25. Alright? So the price earnings ratio of GSIS stock is 25 times per share. Okay? The price earnings ratio is not a perfect guide to future market behavior of a stock. Okay? Occasionally, a low price earnings ratio implies that the stock is undervalued in the market. So in other words, a good buy. Good buy. Okay? At times, a low price earnings ratio denotes that investors see a poor future for the company. Okay? Another one, computing cost proceeds, gain, or loss of a stock transaction. Okay, so what are proceeds? Proceeds are the amount of money that an investor receives after selling a stock. Okay, and it is computed as the value of shares less the broker's commission. Okay, and the stockbroker's commission is the fee charges for, and stockbroker's commission is the free charges for assisting in the purchase or sale of shares of stock. Okay, a percent of the cost of the stock transaction. All right. At ano naman ang stockbroker? So, stockbroker is a professional in stock market trading and investment who acts as an agent in the selling and buying of stocks or other securities. Okay? So, the gain or loss is the difference between the cost of purchasing the stock and the proceeds received when selling the stock. Okay? So, one more affecting the commission is whether the amount of shares purchased is a round lot. Okay? Round lot or multiple of 100 shares. Okay? Ayan. Oh. So, affecting the commission. So, whether the amount of shares purchased is a round lot. Okay? Round lot or a multiple of 100 shares. Okay? Or an odd lot. Okay? So, ano naman yung odd lot? Odd lot or less than, okay? Less than 100 shares. Okay? So, the commission rate on a round lot is generally a bit lower, okay? Bit lower than an odd lot. Okay? Example, you purchased 250 shares of AUS Incorporated common stock at 3,500 pesos per share. A few months later, you sell the shares at 4,000 pesos. Your stockbroker charges 3% commission on round lots and 4% on odd lots. So calculate the total cost, the proceeds, and the gain or loss on the transaction. Okay. So for our solution, we have the following given. Price per share, 3,500. Number of shares is 250. Okay. Commission rate for round lots, 3%. Commission rate for odd lots is 4% or 0.04. So, computing for the total cost, okay. Ayan, so cost of purchasing. Okay, so for letter A, cost of purchasing stock, all right? So we have to compute for the cost of shares. So that is equal to the product of price per share and the number of shares. So this is equal to 3,500 times 250. So this is equal to 875,000 pesos. Okay? And for the broker's commission is the product of the cost of shares and commission rate. And the round lot commission is, okay, so yung round lot commission dito, so this is equal to 200 shares, okay, times 3,500 price per share, times yung percent niya na commission rate, which is 3%. So this is equal to 21,000 pesos. Okay, and we have the odd lot commission, which is it has 50 shares. Okay, 50 shares times 3,500 na price per share times the commission rate na 4%. So this is equal to 7,000 pesos. And for the broker's commission, yung broker's commission is 21,000 plus 7,000. So this is equal to 28,000 pesos. So what's the total cost of the cost of shares and the broker's commission? So this is equal now to so 903,000 pesos. Okay? So the total cost of 250 shares of common stock is 903,000 pesos. Okay? So for the proceeds from selling stocks, okay, so we have the value of shares, which is the product between the price per share and the number of shares. Okay, so this is 4,000 times 250, which is equal to 1 million pesos. And we have the broker's commission for the cost of shares and the commission rate. So we have first to compute the round lot commission. It has 200 shares. Okay. Wait, oh yeah. Sorry. Okay, so 200 shares times 4,000 times the commission rate na 3%. So this is now equal to 24,000 pesos. Okay, for the odd lot commission, and it has 50 shares times 4,000 na price per share times the commission rate na 4%. So this is equal to 8,000 pesos. And for the broker's commission, so i-add lang natin yung round lot and odd lot commission. Alright? So 24,000 plus 8,000 is equal to 32,000 pesos. And for the wait, it's not a total loss. So that is the broker's commission. And for the proceeds, okay, so we have to get the value of shares. Wait lang. I'm sorry. Nabanggit ko kanina value of shares. It's not a cost. Value of shares. Okay? Baka nahilo kayo siya. Wala namang value of shares. So value of shares is equivalent to 1 million. 1 million minus, this is minus, okay? Minus the broker's commission na 32,000 pesos. So this is equal to 968,000 pesos. Okay? So the proceeds on common stock is 968,000 pesos. All right? And okay, so that is for the proceeds from selling the stock. And another one is gain, the gain or loss. Okay, for yung letter C natin, the gain or loss on the transaction. Okay, so this is the formula for getting the gain or loss on transaction, the difference between the proceeds and the total cost. So the proceeds is 968,000 minus the total cost na 903,000. So this is now equal to 65,000 pesos. So yan yung gain, right? So the transaction gain is 65,000 pesos. Intindihan? Now we have computing the current yield of a bond. So the current yield of a bond is computed by dividing the annual interest by the purchase price of a bond. All right? Ayan. And the current yield is obtained using this formula. Example, what is the current yield of a bond whose face value is 14,500 pesos and pays a yearly interest of 12% if purchased at face value and 13,920 pesos. Okay, so yung solution natin, when the price of bond is 14,500 pesos and the current yield will be, okay, so yung annual interest natin. So ano ba yung annual interest? 12%, di ba? So 12% or this is 0.12 times 14,500. Okay? Over the price of bond na 14,500. So this is equal to 12%. And when the price of bond is, yan. Okay, so when the price of bond is 13,000, wait. Ayun. So when the price of bond is 13,920, so what is the current yield naman? Wait, hindi pa natin tapos. So the current yield is, so this is 0.12 times 14,500. Okay. And then 13,920. So this is equal to 12.5%. Alright. And next is computing the price of a bond based on general method. So the same with stocks. When bonds are sold or bought, charge is commonly added to the price of the bond. We have the following variables. Okay, so redemption value of a bond, B. F, face value or par value of the bond. P, the price of the bond. R, bond rate. Okay, I'm sorry. Ang dami nating mali. This is the small letter R. Okay. And then K, the coupon payment. This is a small letter. And then yung nominal interest rate. Wait, bakit sila big letter lahat? J yan. And then number of conversion per year. The time period or term. B, the periodic bond. And I is the periodic interest rate. Okay. So the regular periodic interest payment from the bond will be this one. Coupon payment is equal to the face value times per periodic bond interest rate. Okay, so that is the formula. Okay, or K equals to FB. Okay, yan yung variables na gamit natin. So, yan. Yung coupon payment natin denoted as K, face value is F, and then periodic bond interest is yung B. Okay? Ayan. Let us have an example again para mas maintindihan. At 3,200 pesos at 9% bond pays coupons quarterly and will be redeemed on July 7, 2014. Find the price if the bond is bought on July 7, 2010 to yield 8% compounded quarterly. If A, the bond is redeemed at par, and B, if the bond is redeemable at 110%. Okay? So for our solution, we have the following given. So we have the redemption value of a bond, which is 3,200 pesos, and then the time is 4 years. Another one is the nominal interest rate, which is 8% or 0.08 per decimal. And we have also the number of conversion per year is 4. Bakit 4? Kasi it is compounded quarterly. Okay? And yung value ng N natin, yung T times M, which is 16. Next is yung R. Ano yung R ulit? The bond rate, which is 9% or 0.09. And then yung periodic interest rate, hindi. Periodic bond interest rate, alright? So this is the ratio between R and M, which is equal to 0.0225. Okay, and the periodic interest rate, which is the ratio of G and M, so that is equal to 0.02. Okay, so we will compute for the bond if redeem at par. Okay, so the redemption value is this one. So the coupon payment, which is equal to the face value times periodic bond interest. Okay, wait. Compute na natin. So substitute lang natin yung value. So this is 3,200 times 0.0225. Okay, so this is equal to 72 pesos na coupon payment. And then, so we'll use this formula to have the price bond to yield at 8%, di ba? So let's just substitute the value to this formula for us to find the price of a bond. Okay? So ano yung ulit yung V natin? Yan yung redemption, okay? Redemption value of a bond, which is equal to 3,200 times 1 plus 0.02 raised to negative 16 plus 72 yung K natin. 1 minus 1 plus 0.02 raised to negative 16 over 0.02. Okay? Next. So, tuloy natin yung calculation. So, this is 3,200 times 1.02 raised to negative 16 plus 72. So, this is 1 minus 1.02 raised to negative 16 over 0.02. Okay? Next. Continue lang natin yung calculation. Times, so what's the value of this? So you can use your calculator. So this is equal to 0.728445813 plus this all 72 times the value of this one is 13.5777091. Okay? O, dito na lang. O, next. So, multiply. So, that is equivalent to 2,331.026604 plus 977.5950706. So, the total of 3,308,000, yes, is 0.621674. Or this is now equal to 3,308 pesos and 62 centavos. So that is the price of the bond to yield at, okay, ayan, the price of the bond to yield at 8% is 3,308 pesos and 62 centavos. Okay? And yung letter B at 110% redemption means, okay, so we have 3,520. And then, so for us to get the price of the bond, substitute lang natin yung mga value. This is equal to 3,520 times 1 plus 0.02 raised to negative 16 plus 72. Okay, Okay. So this is 1 minus 1 plus 0.02 raised to negative 16 over yung I, value ni I, 0.02. Next is 3,520 times 1.02 raised to negative 16 plus 72. Okay? So 1 minus 1.02 raised to negative 16 over 0.02. So tuloy lang yung calculation. This is 3,520 times 0.72. 8445813 plus 72 times 13.5777091. Okay? Tuloy lang natin dito. So that is equal to 2,564.129264 plus 977.5950706. So a total of 3,541.724,335. Or this is equal to 3,541 and 72 centavos. So that is the price of the bond in the hand. Another one is computing the price of a bond based on premium method. So, premium method naman tayo. So, if a bond is sold for more than its par value or the bond interest is higher than the current market rate, it is said to be selling at a premium. So, this occurs during period when prevailing interest rates are declining. Okay, so this method is used, or this premium method is used when the bond rate is less than investment rate. Okay, example. Ayan. 8,000 pesos at 9% bond will bond with bi-monthly coupons will be redeemed at the end of 5 years. So determine the price to yield 6%. Okay. So we have the following given. We have the face value of 8,000. The term is 5 years. Nominal interest rate is 6%. Tapos yung number of conversion per year is 6. And then yung number of payment is 30 times. Next, yung bond rate natin na 9%. Periodic bond interest rate is 0.015. And then the periodic interest rate is 0.01. Okay. Okay, so we have first the redemption value. Okay, so for the redemption value, it is equal to, okay, equals to, so 8,000 times yung periodic bond interest na 0.015. So this is equal to 120. Okay, so for us to know the price of a bond, so we'll use this formula. Alright? So substitute lang natin yung mga value. So this is equal to 8,000 yung face value plus yung redemption value na 120 minus 8,000 times 0.01. Okay, and then nasa loob ng bracket, 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.01 raised to negative 30. So negative n ulit siya. And this is 0.01. Next is, tuloy lang yung calculation. So the value of this one is 40. Okay. So 1 minus 1.01 raised to negative 30 over 0.01. Next is 8,000 plus 40. So unahin muna natin yung mga nasa loob. Okay. So kaya this is equal to 25.80770822. Yan. So this is equal now to 8,000 plus the product, which is equal to 1,032.308329. Or this is equal now to 9,032.308329. Or this is now equal to 9,032 pesos and 31 centavos. So that is now the price of a bond. Okay? Price of a bond yield 6%. And we have computing the price of a bond based on discount method. Oh, discount method naman ngayon. Kanina premium. This is discount. So if a bond is sold for less than its par value or the wait, may kulang na word dito. Or the bond base may not be as high as the current market rate, it is said to be selling at a discount. Okay, so this occurs during periods when prevailing interest rates are rising. Okay, so this method or premium method is used, okay, when the bond rate is greater than investment rate. Okay, let's have an example. A 7,000 pesos at 10% bond with quarterly coupons will be redeemed at the end of 3 years. Determine the price to yield 12%. Okay. All right, so for our given, so we have the face value na 7,000 time na 3 years. Nominal rate is 12%. Number of conversion, 4. And then yung N natin is 12. Number of payment. Periodic rate. Wait, yung bond rate muna, yung 10%. And then yung periodic bond interest, which is 0.025. Periodic interest rate na 0.03. Okay. So the redemption value is, so this is equal to 7,000 times 0.0525 is 175 pesos. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. So for us to find the price of the bond, okay, with discount method, so substitute lang natin yung mga value ng formula na gamit natin. So this is 7,000 minus, okay, 7,000 times yung value ng I na 0.03 minus 7,000. No, I'm sorry, it is 175. So 175. Okay? And then, nasa loob ng bracket, 1 minus quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to negative 12 over 0.03, the value of I. So next. So this is 7,000 minus 210. Okay. 1 minus 1.03 raised to negative 12. Okay. So, tuloy na lang natin dito yung 7,000 minus 35 times 9.954,003,994. Okay? So, next is 7,000 minus yung product nito is 348.39013994. And the difference is equal to 6,651.16986. Or this is equal to 6,651 pesos and 61 centavos. Okay? All right. So that's the end of our discussion for stocks and bonds. Okay, so yan na yung huli nating topic for this semester for our subject, Mathematics of Investment. So I hope you understand our lessons and everything about our subject. Okay, and for your activity for this week, so all you have to do is to solve the following problems. Understand, okay, read, understand, and analyze, okay, before you solve. And then show your complete solution. 10 points each with complete solution. Okay, so I repeat, answers only means 0. Right? No solutions means 0. So yun lang yun. Napakasimple lang po ng rule natin in solving word problems. So good luck, guys. And please go over your lessons from week 1 to week 17 for your final exam. Okay? Ayun. So, I will give you naman the coverage of your exam para alam niyo kung ano yung mga i-review ninyo for your final examinations. Okay? So, thank you for watching and good luck. Alright? So, good luck and God bless. Goodbye.